Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to World War II Solitaire board game channel, and tonight we're gonna do another unboxing. We're gonna open up another board game box. So the last time we did Devil Boats by Compass Games, designed by Joe Carter, and this is the sequel to that, Schnell Boats, which is the German perspective in the English Channel during World War II, obviously. Also published by Compass Games and designed by Joe Carter. So let's go ahead and check this bad boy out. I have played a full campaign of Devil Boats now, so I'm gonna play perhaps a few more before I feel like I know it fluently enough to actually attempt to do a proper playthrough video. Because, you know, when you do a playthrough videos, you really want to try to eliminate as many errors as possible. And of course, the better you know the game, the less amount of errors you're gonna have in a playthrough video. Okay, so here we have the back of the box. I'm gonna just lay it down there, give you a moment's chance here. If you want to pause the video, set it to full HD and zoom in, maybe read some of the stuff back here. Anyway, let's look at the key stuff here. Off the ships to protect the convoy, I saw only one was present, unknown commandant, 943. We get our strategic map board example here, some counter examples, and our Schnell boats. And then we have complexity medium, and we have number of players is 1. It's a solo game, of course, and missions is 20 to 60 minutes a pop. And then for a full campaign, we're talking 5 to 15 hours. Recommended age is 14, and I'd say that's just that recommendation, I'm guessing, is based on the content, because I'm having a hard time thinking a 14-year-old guy is gonna learn how to play this game, perhaps with some help from a parent. Anyway, that's it. Again, if you wanna, I'm not gonna read all of this stuff with my horrible Swedish accent. So if you wanna read it yourself, go ahead. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit closer here on some parts. So you might wanna pause the video if this is the part that you want to read. Alright, I like to look at the sides of my games too. Devil Boats has a really cool side. Some nice pictures. Like the Schnell boats, come on, they could have chosen some color. It's so white. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus our camera and open up this big box. Really love the box size. Okay, so here we have a little note, and again, as usual with my unboxing videos, we're gonna go look at all of the components quite quickly, and then once we've done that, we will look through all of it in greater detail. We're checking the game component list. Please note that there are 2 crew status log pads, one for the detailed crew of S-Boat 1 and one for the crews of boats 2 to 4. When setting up a campaign with Project 5B Tragflügelboot, please note that the crew status sheet for T-Boat 1 can be found on the back of the T-Boat. Okay, because I'm guessing this is just some errata, last minute errata. And we have our markers. I love those. That's like one of my favorite parts with the Schnell boats, Devil Boats, is these markers. It's just such a fun idea. Okay, so we got 2 markers. That's good. One in the reserve. That's the same we get in Devil Boats. And we got some dice. Got some Ziploc bags. And here we have our tables booklet. So I really like this idea, and that's not something that we saw in Devil Boats. Here we have a separate rules booklet, so that would be this, and it's quite, you know, not very thick. We're talking 10 pages here. And then we have a separate rule booklet, or a tables booklet, one for S100, that's your standard Schnell boat, and then you got one for the Tragflügelboot, which is the, you know, they never used that one. I believe it has jet engines, perhaps. It's a experimental boat, and I don't think it saw any action. If it did, it was quite limited action. So we have our rules booklet, and then we have our Schnell boats table booklets for you know, one for them each. And then we have our campaign logs. This looks a little bit different than the one we saw with Devil Boats. So, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like 14 missions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14. Uneven number, but yeah, you can do 14 missions then on one page. Whoops, gonna turn that audio off. And then we have our crewman status log. So that's, looks very similar to the one we have. It's two-sided, the one we have in Devil Boats. And then we have our crew. Oh, okay. So we have also for the boats number 2 to 4, because we're gonna be the lead boat, and then we're gonna have up to 3 other boats helping us out. Okay, so here we have our Schnell boats, and again, I gotta say, this is so. I mean, I enjoy, I enjoy these, placing out all of the, your crew members and equipment and stuff, like in B-17, like in the Hunters. It's really fun, but I gotta say that this could have been better done, because one guy wrote, looks like a kid drawing, and I think that's a little bit harsh. I don't agree with that, but it kind of looks like not too much perhaps energy was put into this, or perhaps a lot of energy was put into it, but I think it could have been better done to really pop out, because at least for me, I'm not really familiar with speedboats, so I would really like a better visual presentation of it. Like, for example, in Patton's Best or in the Hunters, I think it's just so beautiful. The submarine, your tank in Patton's Best, it really pops. You get the feeling that you're actually having a tank there in front of you, and that's not where I get here. It kind of looks like a blueprint almost to me. So yeah, that's. I said the same thing about Devil Boats, but I mean, of course, if the game is good enough, you're gonna be able to use your internal graphic card, your brain. Okay, so here we have the top Flügelboot, and yeah, it's the same thing here. It kind of looks like a blueprint to me. And I guess maybe that's also because I'm not familiar with this. I don't know this. I never, saw an article about this boat. I don't even know really what about this S100 Schnell boat either. And if I don't know how it looks, then I won't get that graphical engine when I see it. So I guess that might also be a problem. It might just be me that, I'm not really educated in this kind of stuff. Okay, and here we have our squadron status card, and that's where we're going to use this one to mark and, remove that markers. And it's one-sided. And then we have enemy aircraft, warship status, and Schnell boats, enemy convoy ship status. And finally we have our 100 damage log, and I'm just gonna say 5B from now on instead of that. And yeah, so this is where we're gonna be using those marker pens. And then we have our combat board for, see here, good weather, foggy weather. And yeah, I mean, these kind of look like the ones, they're two-sided, bad weather, good weather, and poor weather. Yeah, they look kind of similar to the ones we had in Devil Boats. Again, could have been graphically a little bit improved, I think, to really make the graphics pop. Now it's kind of bland, kind of boring, and with this kind of game, it's really, I gotta say, because your imagination is so important part of it, that if your imagination can get a little bit of boost from the graphic design, like on this beautiful map, for example, it really helps. So this is really gorgeous. I like it. It's, a thick mounted map, so that's great. And then finally, we have our counters, and it's a total of 2 counter sheets. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And we'll go in for a little bit of a closer look. So here we have some of our boats, some of our Schnell boats. And that's our lead boat right here. So that's the one we're gonna be in. And we have our crew counters. I don't know what that is. Something that shouldn't be there. And we have some other stuff. We have our fun experimental boat. And some of these counters are identical to the ones that we have in Devil Boats, which, you know, it's kind of nice deal, because if you learn how to play Devil Boats, you know how to play Schnell Boats, and vice versa. So I like that idea. About the same, you know, with Gregory Smith's submarine games. And then we have another, let's see if I can focus my camera, another counter sheet here. And again, most of these are very familiar to me from Devil Boats. I'd say the majority of these I've seen in Devil Boats. I know what they mean, I'm guessing. And then here we have some new counters, which are our enemy boats, I'm guessing. And we have some of our German awards. Of course, they have a backside too, but most of them are not double-sided. Some of them are, but most of them are not. So anyway, guys, that's actually what you get. In Schnell Boats, we've had a look at all of the counters. We had a look at the map. We looked at our combat boards, which is two-sided, one for every kind of weather. And then we have all of our one-sided marker boards, a total of 5. Only 4 of them will be in use, since there's one each for the 2 kind of boats we get. And again, the 2 kinds of boats we get is the 5B experimental boat. It's gonna be fun to take out for a spin. And then we have the S100. So that's an improvement from Devil Boats, because of course in Devil Boats we only had the standard PT boat. And again, we have the Schnell Boats 2 to 4 crew status, and then we have the Schnell Boat 1 crewman status, and then finally our campaign log. And some little things here, dice, errata pages, and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and look at these before we end this video. So here we have our rules book, and again, it's just a few pages long, and yeah, I wish it was longer, because I like to learn how to play games and know all of the rules in the back of my head. That's what I did with Patton's Best, B-17 Queen of the Skies. That's what I did with the Hunters and Silent Victory. You know, it's even if it's 45 or 50 pages of rules, if you played enough, if you enjoyed enough, you're gonna learn all of those rules fluently. And if you're not, well, just look them up. That's a bit of a problem in these games, because if you look games rule-wise here, these aren't rules, that's just game components, instructions, setup and gameplay. Okay, so let's say that this is kind of like rules, even though I'd argue that setup is not really rules. But let's say it is, so then we have half a page here, plus 1 page, that's 2 pages, let's say it's 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5, and that's it, because then we have game counter guide. So we basically have like 4 or 5 pages of rules, because yeah, this is not even rules either. That's, you know, just describing the different metals. So we have 4 pages of rules, and then we have some counter descriptions, and then we go into optional 2-player rules and designer notes and so on. And that's the thing with Devil Boats and Schnell Boats, that the rules will be spread around these tables, and sometimes that makes it a little bit hard to kind of figure out how to play and how to do. And I don't think that you're gonna be able to learn to play this as fluently as, for example, Patton's Best, because if you get into a situation that you've never been into before, you know, you're not gonna know how to play that unless you go through all of these pages, 40 pages, and that's gonna be hard to memorize, because they're not, you know, it's not organized as rules normally are. Anyway, here we have some examples for some reason, and on the back here we have for our Devil Boats the latest official errata. So this is good if you don't have a printer, which I don't. So I appreciate that they decided to include this in Schnell Boats. And again, when it comes to learning rules, I mean, that's just my way. Let's look at the Schnell Boat 100 tables. that's just my way of liking to learn how to play a game. I'm sure that this is gonna be for the style that people who don't really mind if they make small errors, well, they're probably gonna prefer this way instead of learning 40 pages, in the back of their minds. So yeah, we have weather check, nightly mission assignment, we have special mission, and that's just gonna be mainly mine laying. I see sea state, bad weather events, random event, looks very similar, and then enemy aircrafts, all zones. And this has also been improved because in Devil Boats we get it very many aircrafts, because on a roll of 10 we have one in a green zone, 9 or 10 in a red zone, and so on. Or I think 8, 9 or 10 in a red zone. So here we have, you have to actually roll 20 to have a contact with enemy aircraft, and of course you have modifiers which will make it more likely, but it's still not going to be as frequent occurrence as it is in Devil Boats. Okay, we have random events. Looks very similar. Defensive fire. Yeah, basically it's beautiful. Some beautiful pictures in here. Yeah, basically it's Devil Boats, but it's with German skin. So this is gonna be really cool to try out. And I'm looking forward to sharing these games with you. Special missions. Yeah, there's a lot of charts. Definitely a lot of charts. I've never seen this many charts before as in Devil Boats, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the kind of scripted aspect of rolling on charts. It's almost like playing video game or something like that. And then finally we have the tables booklet for our experimental, and I mean it's pretty much looking identical to me, and we have some nice graphics. That's a horrible looking boat in my opinion. It looks funny, very funny. Kleinschnellboot. This seemed to be one of them actually in action. I actually googled this name, Trappflügelboot, and I couldn't find anything, so I'm guessing maybe it's not so easy to find information about this experimental boat. But I mean, this is double gameplay for me, because usually, like, you know, with two boats, so usually what I do, like with B17 Queen of the Skies, I play until I have actually survived the whole campaign, and then, you know, I feel like I'm done with the game. And with two boats here, I can do that 2 times and still feel like, you know, it's relevant. Guys, I'm gonna close the box on Schnell boats, and I'm gonna say thank you for joining me in this little adventure. I hope that you are going to stick to the channel, because playthroughs of Devil Boats and of course Schnell Boats are going to come. I'm also hoping to find time to do a review of these 2 games. And of course I got Dog Boats pre-ordered, so there's going to be Dog Boats too. So many boats. On top of that, we got Night Fighter Race, we got Beneath the Med, we got the Hunted, Target for Today, Target for Tonight, B29 Super Fortress, Picket Duty on the way also, or actually they're already here, and I'm gonna open them up too, and I'm gonna play them too. Well, we got our whole lives ahead of us, so I'm not gonna say when it's gonna happen, because I don't know, but I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Working a terrible night shift now with like too many night shifts, but in April I'm actually gonna have the whole month off, so I'm hoping in April to get the channel a little bit rolling again. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you want to see a playthrough of this video and a review. And the more people who I know wants that, you know, the more effort I will put into it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. You know, leave a comment, like the video, also helps me out a lot. If you want to help me a little bit extra, you can become a supporting member of the channel for only $2.99 US a month. You can become a supporting member. You can also do a one-time donation through PayPal. You will find PayPal address in the video description, and all donations of course goes towards buying new board games to share with y'all, and as well as camera equipment. Okay, that's it from me guys. Take care. Happy gaming.